Hello and welcome to Free Advice Friday. My name is Keri Barnum. I am here for Free Advice Friday, where we take an hour out every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern to talk about book marketing, publishing, and the business of being an author. Basically, anything that you could want to ask, an answer. So today we have questions live at newshelves.com/FAF. You're welcome to join us. We also have a few questions that were emailed in that I will answer. And then, of course, we take questions live. So the first question is actually a live question. And this is a question from Shira. She dropped it in the chat. Submissions are now open for OverDrive's June 2023 audiobook month sale. The 2023 campaign will begin June 1st and run through June 30th. All titles must be discounted 25 to 50% off for the full campaign period to be included in our merchandising activities. And Shira's question is, I should do this, right? Yeah, I think so. If you have an audiobook and you have the opportunity to discount that audiobook for OverDrive, and keeping in mind that OverDrive is going to be your libraries. So library licensing and things like that. So if you want to get into the library market with your audiobook, I think discounting and getting some extra promotion through OverDrive and your distributor is a great idea. So I personally would be inclined to do that. It's a month-long discount, and you can certainly promote that out to libraries specifically, or just go with whatever OverDrive's doing for their additional marketing and promo there. But I would do it personally. Let's see. I'm a novelist of 5 award-winning novels, most self-published. Is it possible to get an agent and publisher for my next novel, or am I too late? Rebecca, that's a really good question. And you can actually still get an agent and or a publisher for your next works. The things that you need to keep in mind is that if your book has already been published, those books are out. No one, unless you're in this very sweet spot of like, wow, these are selling really well, but not so well that publishers feel like the meat's already fallen off the bone. People don't typically want to republish a book for you, or a publisher or an agent. They want new content, new IP. But if you have a new book, you absolutely can query agents, and you can go directly to publishers who accept submissions directly unagented. So you have both of those options. You do want to keep in mind that you are going to have to tell them you self-published before, and that's fine, but no, they're going to be using your success there kind of as a indicator of what you'll be doing marketing wise, what you'll be doing on the business side of things to help sell books. So if you've done well in self-publishing, and with a bunch of awards, it sounds like you might be, then that can actually be a benefit. It shows them you're a pro, you know what you're doing, and it can make them want to work with you even more. When going to a publisher or an agent after self-publishing, they typically want brand new IP. They want a standalone, in most cases, standalone novel or nonfiction title. They don't typically want something in the same world of something you've already published, and they typically don't want anything that's been done in a series. So brand new IP, most of the time standalone. Now you may be thinking, Keri, you always talk about series. Yes, I do, because series do sell better. Series are just easier to market. And there are some companies that actually look for a series, like LMBPN is a indie publisher. You can submit directly and unagented, and they look for series. They actually ask that you come with a series or a series plan for at least 3 books. But in most cases, what you want to do is you want to have a standalone novel with series potential, because when you're going to bigger publishers, when you're going to the big 5, or you're going through an agent, they don't actually want a series to start. They want a really strong novel with series potential. So if it does well, it can actually grow into something bigger. And yes, I'll drop that in here. It's LMBPN. So LMBPN. BPN. They focus again on series. They want 3 or more titles typically in a series. They are looking for romance, sci-fi, fantasy. They have a whole list on their website and you can submit directly. But yeah, you absolutely can go and you can query and you can find publishers after you've self-published. And I think it's a great opportunity for some authors. Depending on, again, it's always about your goals and what you want to get out of the publishing experience. What I will do is we have a blog on the New Shelves website that is how it's called How Do Self-Published Authors Get an Agent, which kind of fits this situation. So let me grab that link and I will drop it in the chat box. And then for anyone who's watching this replay or if you're on Facebook, just go to newshelves.com, go to our blog and search the word agent. You'll find it's like the second plugin, I believe. So that will be a helpful resource as well. I want to do Amazon ads for several of my book titles. I need to know the best way to do this as I failed at about a year and a half ago. What should I do? Well, here's the thing. When doing Amazon ads, there are best practices that you should certainly consider. But what you need to consider first is that the best conversion on Amazon ads are on books that have a cover that fits the market. So your cover needs to clearly say what your market and genre is. If I look at your cover, I should know if it's mystery or thriller or romance or nonfiction. The other thing that you need to keep in mind is that Amazon ads rarely convert well unless you have Amazon reviews. We need that proof of concept, that social proof that the book is actually doing well. So I typically do not run ads on a book that has less than 15 reviews. So first things first, if you don't have at least 15 reviews, hold off, go work on getting reviews before you put money into ads. Step 2, make sure that your book is really the cover. Everyone judges a book by a cover, right? So you need to make sure that the cover really fits the genre. It's easy to read and people get a sense of what they're getting when they look at the cover without even reading your blurb. Because, I mean, think about it. Cozy mystery, you see a cozy mystery cover and you immediately know basically what you're getting. You get romance novels, even different romance novels. So you see a romance novel with like a couple embracing and maybe they're kissing, maybe the guy's shirtless, and you immediately know you're getting a spicier romance. Or you may see kind of a couple in like a country setting and they're kind of apart or holding hands. That's probably a clean romance or a wholesome romance. So it gives you an immediate idea of what the book is. And that's really important when running ads because that is what people are seeing. When we run ads on Amazon, it's not what we think of as like an ad placement in like a magazine. What it is it's using keywords to increase your searchability so that when people are searching things like romance novel, your book will show up closer to the top of the list. And then you're banking on that if they see your book that they're going to click and then buy. But if they're looking for a romance novel and your book looks more like a thriller, it looks more like a nonfiction title, they're not even going to click on it. So you're not going to have much success. And then the third thing that you need to think about is your marketing copy and your blurb. It better be strong. When someone does click on your book page and your book cover, you've got about 4 seconds to hook them. You've got one sentence. Is your first sentence strong? And does your marketing copy really tell us what the story is? I find too many authors are afraid of giving away the story or spoilers. So they almost don't give us enough of the story for us to be interested. So I always say, think of a movie trailer. When you go to the movies and you see a movie trailer and everyone's like, man, that movie looks good. And then you go see the movie and then you're going, well, the best parts were in the trailer. Yes, they were. And you want to know why? Because that's what the hook was. That is what was getting you to come over and watch the movie. Same idea with books. You've got to give some of the best, the juiciest parts to make us want to read the book. Now, I'm not saying you tell us the surprise ending or anything like that, but you've got to give us enough to get us onto that book. And then after that, when we're talking about running those ads, then it's a lot of trial and error. It's making sure that you know who your comps are, that you research those comps well with keywords. I personally use Publisher Rocket for that. But researching your keywords, making sure that your keywords are tied to strong comps, making sure that if you're running category ads, that again, your cover fits that category expectation, that those category ads are running in good categories for your book. Don't just try to hit everything. Know who your target is, what your target is, and hone in on that. And then for successful Amazon ads, this is a conundrum a little bit, but you both have to watch those ads carefully and let them run. You cannot make day-to-day decisions on Amazon ads because the data doesn't even report that quickly. You need to set up an ad, let it run, let the data work and pull information, and then make adjustments. I typically look at my Amazon ads often, but I only make changes and adjustments every 2 weeks or so, because if you do more than that, sometimes it's a knee-jerk reaction that actually hurts you. So all of these things to keep in mind when running Amazon ads, but it starts with your reviews, your cover, and your blurb. So get those things in line before you start to spend any money on your ads. Let's see. I think we got that one answered. Okay, I self-published with BookBaby and want to know, how do I look up my sales on Amazon? If you have self-published, or if you've published through someone else and you didn't go directly through Amazon, or you're not directly the publisher, then you have a couple of options. Typically, if you are going through another distribution company like BookBaby or Lulu Press, something like that, typically they have a sales dashboard that they do reporting through. But the other options for authors for Amazon ads or sales in particular, you can go directly to Author Central, authorcentral.com. You are allowed to grab your free Author Central profile, which is a free website on Amazon, basically. So you should have one anyway. And when you go into that, there are options. There's a tab that says Marketing and Reports. And that Marketing and Reports tab not only reports Circana book sales. It used to be NPD BookScan. Now it's Circana. And Circana will report all your paperback sales from, it's supposed to report about 85% of sales from all sources that sell retail books. Paperback only. And then you can also look at your ranking on Kindle and for paperback on Amazon. So that can give you an indicator as well. So these things don't necessarily give you hard and fast numbers for all of your sales on Amazon, but it is kind of an indicator and a help. But the best way to get your sales is directly from the publisher. So if you self-published on KDP, you look up your reports on KDP. If you used an aggregator, you went through a self-publishing company like BookBaby, then they should be offering reports to you, and you want to look those up. So that's what I would be doing. See, when I put my ebook up on Draft to Digital, it recommended charging 2 to 3 times the regular price for libraries. So I doubled the price. Was that a mistake? I'm wondering if I should charge the library ebook price back down to $9.99. What do you think? Well, let me explain that, Pam, and how this works. So the reason why it's recommended that you charge 2 or 3 times the price for your ebook or even your audiobook when going to libraries or OverDrive, we call this a library pricing. The reason why is because typically a lot of platforms, including Draft to Digital, are now using what's called a cost per checkout model. So when a library puts your book into their system, they're not actually just paying, let's say, you guys know me in math, so we're going to make it easy on me, right? So let's just say you put your library pricing for your ebook as $10. But that does not mean that when they put your book into their library system, that they're just paying $10 and they've got your book. That's not how it works. The way that it works is that when they decide to put your book into their library system, your ebook, it doesn't cost them anything. But if someone decides to check your book out of the library system, they pay cost per checkout, CPC. And that is a tenth of the library price. So if your library price is $10, then every time someone actually checks the book out from that library, the library is going to pay you $1. 1/10, $1. So that's how it works. And that's why you increase your price. Because let's say your normal retail price is $5. Well, that means that every time someone's checking your book out from the library system, you're only getting 50 cents. And then, of course, there are fees and things that come out. So you're not making very much at all. So, yes, it is correct and very normal that when doing libraries through Draft to Digital, Find Away Voices for audiobooks, that you do your library pricing at 2 to 3 times your retail pricing. Now, there, of course, are still the old model was to do library license pricing where you actually charged much more, at least 3, sometimes up to 5 times the retail cost of the book. And then with a license pricing, what would happen is that the library would commit to paying that full fee and they would have licensing for so many checkouts or for a certain amount of time, like a year. But they paid that fee up front regardless of if anyone checked the book out. So what we're seeing, especially for indie publishers and aggregators, is we're seeing that cost per checkout model show up more and more because it's less risk for libraries if people aren't checking the book out. And it does allow the author or the publisher to earn exponentially if their book is really popular and gets checked out a bunch of times. So you did the right thing, absolutely. And that's how the library pricing model works. Oh, what is the best advertising platform for indie publishers? So that's a trick question. There is no best platform, and let me tell you why, is because it doesn't really matter if you're traditional or indie. The thing that you need to keep in mind is it depends on your books and your genre. So it depends on, are you in romance? Because if you're in romance, you need to be over on TikTok. If you are in mysteries and thrillers, TikTok might do you some good, but Facebook is your spot. If you are in nonfiction, it might be LinkedIn. If you are in memoir, it may actually not be any social media. It may be different platforms depending on what your memoir is about. So you really need to, again, know who your target market is, who your reader is, and where they hang out. And that is the best place to advertise. Now, I will say Amazon advertising does well for most books, whether traditional or indie. And the simple reason for that is that Amazon is a sales platform. People are already there, their credit card is hooked up, and they're looking to buy things or spend money. So you are simply capitalizing on that. And so Amazon's going to be a win for most people. Now, keep in mind, Amazon advertising can get pricey. You do have to watch it, and you have to make sure that you're getting that conversion when you're paying that's cost per click, also CPC, cost per click. And you have to make sure that you're getting the conversion, the read through to make sure that you are actually not only paying for your Amazon ads, but profiting usually on your backlist. So those are things to consider as well, but there's no best platform. It's where are your readers, go to where your readers are at. If my readers are, I don't know, let's say my readers are young adult fantasy and it's really geared towards like 16, 17-year-olds. Can I market on Facebook and hope to hit some parents and teachers? Absolutely. But if I really want to find those readers, most of them are going to be on TikTok. Some of them are going to be on Instagram. A lot of them be on things like Snapchat or Reddit. So, I mean, you really need to know your target market and go to where your target market is. And if you are a publisher with multiple genres, I cannot stress this enough. You need to know each genre and you need to be marketing appropriately for each genre. And you should at every genre, every turn, every author, every publisher should be building a strong email list that they can market to in perpetuity without constantly paying to get in front of that audience. So mailing lists are super strong, and then cross promotion is just an amazing way to kind of multiply your audience, whether it be within your own publishing house with different authors and books, or working with other authors if you're indie published and you're doing it on your own. Lots of opportunity there. And I will also say, get creative. Get creative. This is one thing that indies have over traditionally published or trade publishers and big companies, in my opinion. And we've seen this time and time again, is that indie authors are usually the first to try something. They're the first to say, yeah, I'll try this TikTok thing. They are the first who will go out and do something crazy or go to a trade show or go cosplay or something like that. So indie authors, what they have the ability to do is they have the ability to try things and to pivot quickly. And the big houses, I mean, they're still lagging behind. So authors, whether they're trade or indie, have the ability to kind of go out on their own. In indie in particular, you have so much control that you can go and you can innovate and get creative and try things that simply aren't an option in some of the bigger trade catalogs, because there's too many steps to go through, too many people. So take advantage of that if you're an indie. Let's see. What are the best library distributors? Well, I can tell you it's not a distributor, it's a wholesaler. So Baker and Taylor is the wholesaler. They have purchased Follett, or Follett and Baker and Taylor are owned by the same company. So they kind of have a corner on the market on bookstores and libraries. And almost all libraries have permissions to order through Baker and Taylor. And it is usually their preferred wholesaler. And the reason why is not only does Baker and Taylor offer the right conditions for purchasing books, and it's approved by a lot of the library systems, but Baker and Taylor will actually prep the books for shelves. So they will actually label them and get them ready to go directly on the shelves, which means that it's less work at the library, it's less manpower and less people they have to pay to get the books ready for the shelves. So Baker and Taylor by far is the most popular wholesaler. Now, they also can, many libraries, not all, can also order from Ingram, and about a third can order from Amazon. So what you need to do when looking for a distributor is keep in mind which distributors can get you into Baker and Taylor and which ones can get you into Ingram, because those are going to be your two big spots. Now, that may be Midwest for a distributor. There are a lot of smaller distributors that work with indies like Pathway Book, Cardinal, Itasca. They all have relationships with Baker and Taylor. So I think when thinking about distributors, you need to know kind of how many books do you have in your catalog? What kind of relationship are you going to have with this distributor? Is it a single title? Do you have a whole catalog that you're distributing? Because if you have a whole catalog, you've got more leverage and you can go after bigger distributors and better deals. But also keeping in mind, what kind of access does the distributor have to wholesalers? Which wholesalers are they going to get you into? So you know which ones to target based on where you hope to sell your book. Let's see. What is a good percentage to use as a book or a benchmark on Circana? So the book sales site that used to be BookScan. I know they don't report direct sales. So if we only see Amazon sales, what can we add percentage wise to put in an overall sales, including direct sales? So here's the thing for Circana, When they report book sales, even though it's through Author Central, it's not just Amazon print book sales. It's actually all print book sales for your book. So Author Central essentially has this large membership for Circana because you have to pay for it. It's several $1,000s. So the average person's not going to go get a Circana membership and be able to look up book sales for any book they want. So Amazon, through Author Central, has done this, and then they provide the book sales data to each author for their book specifically. So when you're looking at their Circana book sales through Author Central on the Reports and Marketing tab, it is actually approximately 85% of all print and paperback sales in the US. It is US specific. We don't have that in the UK or elsewhere right now, but it is about 85% across the board. Let's see. Is it true that ebooks are actually licensed and could be revoked by the publisher? If someone buys the ebook from Kindle, can it be retracted by Amazon or publisher post-purchase? Here's the thing. So if it's licensed by a publisher, there are contracts involved. So if I license a book to a library for a year, I'm locked into it for a year. Now, after a year, could I change my terms? Could I pull that book? Yes. If I'm going to pull a license agreement mid-agreement, well, then there are usually some clauses in there that mean I'm going to have to pay or have some type of, I'm going to have to give them something back if I pull my license. So can you? Technically, probably, but there would definitely be repercussions. And as far as once you buy an ebook on Kindle, can Amazon or the publisher retract it post-purchase? Look, can they? Amazon probably has the technology to do that. Yes. Will they? No, because you purchased it. You purchased that book. So that's not something that we should really have to worry about. Now, again, can they? Yes. And that's why the idea of NFT or selling books through NFT really had a lot of interest about 3 years ago. And it's kind of up and down with NFT interest over the last couple of years. But about 3 years ago, around 2020 is when people were really interested in it, 2019. And that's because once you purchase it, it's like this electronic stamp that means it's yours forever. And that was kind of the idea, is that you bought that book and you could have it on any platform and it's yours, and it wasn't Kindle specific. But again, that's getting into the weeds a little bit. The average consumer, like the answer for the average consumer would be no, once you buy it, it's yours. The deep dive answer is, could they pull it back? Are there ways? I'm sure there are, but it's not something the average consumer would need to worry about with a book that they purchase. Let's see. Does New Shelves manage Amazon advertising for authors? So we do work on Amazon advertising, Rebecca. When we work on Amazon ads, though, here's the truth, is that very rarely do authors have enough of a backlist and make enough money on their book sales that if they are paying someone to run their ads long term, they're earning that money back and then some. You have to have a pretty large backlist. So while we do have several of those clients, most authors are better served by having an ad startup program, which is what we do a lot of, where it's a 3-month program where we help you get started with ads. We do some test ads with you. We find out what works, and then we train you on what you need to know to keep those ads running. So after the initial period, you have a solid foundation of what works and how to use it so you can keep up the maintenance long term. And that is how authors can actually profit. Because if you're constantly paying someone else to run your ads, it's not always cheap. In fact, a lot of times it's not cheap. So you really have to be making a high profit in order to keep that running and make money yourself. Again, I have clients who do that. I have clients who literally have a full-time income off of their book sales, and they pay me Amazon ad fees. And I've had some clients that have been doing it for 5 years or more. So short answer, yes. Long answer is, which program would depend on you. And you can certainly email me about that to look at it. Getting reviews is like pulling teeth, plus credible reviews from industry types are even more difficult. Help us with your magic wand. I wish I had a magic wand. I wish I would do it for you, Anita. Here's the thing is that when reviewing books or asking for reviews, most people simply don't know how important reviews are. So I have two bits of advice. Number one is just to realize that when you're asking for reviews or even reader reviews, first, I want everyone to stop and I want you to think in your head, when's the last time you left a review on a book or product? If you're not doing it and you know the importance, think about how many people don't know the importance and aren't doing it. So I think the first thing that we as authors need to do, and people working in the industry, is we need to be leaving more reviews. When it's ethical, when we can do it, we need to be leaving more reviews. But also keep in mind that when talking about reviews, approximately maybe 1/10 of readers will leave a rating or review. So it takes a lot of readers to get reviews. And the second thing I'll say about that is you have to ask. People don't know the importance unless you tell them. People don't think to leave a review unless you ask them. So put it in your ask. I'm dropping in the chat for anyone who's joining us live a YouTube video I did on how to get more reviews, specifically how to ask for them and ask for them in a way that actually gets results. If you are watching the replay, just go onto YouTube and search Amazon book review on the YouTube channel, on the New Shelves YouTube channel, and it'll pull up. But the idea here is that you have to ask and you have to impress the importance and how that one person can truly make a difference. So when you're putting it out on social media, when you're making a note in the back of the book, when you are asking friends and family or things like that, it's really important that you tell them why. Not just will you leave a review of my book, but I don't know if you know, but book reviews really are one of the things that make or break an author, because book reviews give social credibility, but also it helps people know if this book is right for them. So it's really important to me. If you have the time, if you enjoyed the book, please consider leaving a review. It personally means a lot to me. That's a lot more, that's got a lot more pull on it than please leave a review. Yay. Yeah, that's not as exciting, right? And then we have to make it simple for people. People often don't leave reviews because they feel like they have to write a book report, and that's not true. So I always say it can be short and sweet. Answer these 3 questions. Number 1, did you like the book? Number 2, what was your favorite part or best takeaway? And number 3, would you recommend the book? Yeah, I thought this book was fascinating. I really liked the tie-in of historical fiction and fantasy. Absolutely recommending this to all my friends. There, we have an amazing review no one's going to be upset about. Now, if they are compelled to write more and talk about characters and all the good stuff, absolutely, that's fantastic. But we have to let people know it doesn't have to be complicated or scary. So we have to kind of help them know that we're not expecting perfection from them and give them easy ways to get things done. Let's see, Nancy. It was mentioned to me by a very seasoned time publisher that bookstores do not necessarily like receiving books with the book award seals, such as the IBPA Benjamin Franklin, on the book. Only if they're the famous children's book awards, such as the Newbery or things like that. So what are my thoughts on putting a book award on a book print run? Here are my feelings on it. If it's a really prestigious award, sure, put it on your book cover and print it. Now, this is a lot easier on print on demand because you can change it than if you are doing offset print. If you're doing offset print, think long and hard about how prestigious this is, how many people know about this award. That's what I would encourage you to do. Now, with that said, anytime you have a book award and you are doing digital marketing or your ebook listing, which just has a JPEG of the cover, yes, put that book award on the cover and then put that on the Amazon listing, put that on your ebook listing everywhere so that it's got that book award. I am a little more cautious on printing book awards because number one, when it's printed right on there, you're stuck with it. But also we want to know that people know that prestigious. We want to know, do people associate this with something good or bad? Do they know what it means? Because again, when we're talking retail sales or things of that nature, it's a little bit different than the average person on Amazon. So if you're doing offset print, I personally would only choose the most well-known awards to print on my book cover. Me personally. Now you can absolutely on the back of the book, like kind of where the endorsements are, you can say winner of the Benjamin Franklin Award in whatever category or things like that. So you may work it in there without the actual physical representation of the award. It's just kind of some rules of thumb, but it also depends on the book and the genre and all the good things, right? Let's see. Speaking of reviews, what is a good number? How many make a difference? All right, so this is unofficial intel that may change at any moment because it's Amazon and I'm speaking specifically to Amazon and Amazon algorithms. But there is a suspected, we're mostly sure, that there's an Amazon algorithm uptick at 15 reviews, again at 35 reviews. When you hit 50 reviews on a book on Amazon, you are eligible for email marketing. That means they may start including your book in emails to readers. You may also be interested in that kind of thing. That doesn't happen until 50 reviews. And then it is highly suspected you get another algorithm bump at 100 reviews, 100. After that, I would imagine it's kind of like, I don't know why, but it's like the ones that stand out in people's mind is when you hit 100 reviews, it's like, hey, you kind of made it. When you hit 500 reviews, you're like, people love this book. And when someone hits 1,000 reviews, that's when people are like, oh, this must be real good. So I think it's important to give ourselves steppable goals. Start with 15, then try to reach that 35. And that 50, when you reach 100, you darn well better celebrate because you deserve it. If you get over that 500, 1,000, that's amazing. That gives you a lot of credibility, especially if you're book one in the series. So you can never have too many reviews, but at minimum, I would be reaching for that 50 review goal so that you can get into those email marketing from Amazon. That's right. Look, you're at 49 reviews. Shira, go ask some people. Go put it out on social media. You need one more. Make it a team effort. That would be exciting. Let's see. Let's see. I've got time for a couple more questions and then I do have to head out. Let's see. If I don't want to do another launch team for my third book, how soon before launch date should I offer a free book, ebook, and book funnel, etc., to gain interest in reviews? Will those reviews transfer to Amazon on launch date? I think you mean like, should you offer your book on book funnel or ebook on book funnel for free to just get interest going, maybe through a group promo? So if that's the case for a children's book, think about how long people need to read it. I would say you don't want to do more than a week in advance. And keep in mind, just because someone gets a free book on book funnel doesn't mean that they actually will go over to Amazon and review it. You must plead your case. Put something in the back of the book in the PDF file saying, please go review this book. Put that call to action in there so that you're encouraging people. But for a children's book, I would not give people access more than a week in advance, simply because it's such a short book, they're going to read it. And then if they're going to leave a review, it's going to be right away. And you can only leave a review on Amazon once the book is live and you have a live listing. So I would kind of keep that in mind. And then for a picture book, you may really want to consider a children's blog tour. A book blog tour is one of the best ways that you can kind of get reviews, especially when your launch team is kind of like they're tired. And so you may consider a children's book blog tour. And I will say that the children's book review is one of the best I've found for children specifically. And they have blog tours as well as you can just submit for reviews. And I'll drop their link in here. It's fabulous over there. Let's see. Of the email services like MailChimp, which is the best for a list of 1,500 people? Here's the thing, they're almost all the same. I'll say this, they're almost all the same. MailChimp, MailerLite, Constant Contact, they're almost all the same. Their pricing will go up and down. Like MailChimp was more expensive. Now it's Constant Contact, then it's MailerLite. So honestly, pick the one you're most comfortable with. Substack is kind of the one that's new on the table because Substack is free unless or until you monetize. So if you're selling anything through Substack or through your mailing list, then they take a percentage. The thing with Substack is that I've gotten feedback that it's great for people who are blogging a lot, who are sharing like recipes and things, who may be selling direct, but people who aren't doing that don't necessarily love it as much. I've heard it's very, very easy to use, but it doesn't have all the features that some authors may want. Nonfiction authors seem to like it more because they seem to have more going on as far as their blog and things like that. So I think that's really up to you. Give them a try. Substack is free until you monetize, and then they take a percentage. Whereas MailChimp, Constant Contact, they take a fee up front after a certain number of subscribers. That number of subscribers is steadily decreasing. It used to be like 1,000, and then it was like 700, and then it was 500, and now it might be even lower. So everyone wants to get their cut. All right. I've had no success with Ingram. Should I change? I have a few titles with Draft to Digital. Guys, I've got news for you. Draft to Digital, print on demand. They're just sending it over to Ingram and IngramSpark. They're literally printing through IngramSpark. They are a middleman to get you to IngramSpark. So are you going to sell more books through Draft to Digital, print on demand over IngramSpark? I don't think so. It's all about what you're doing to market the book. This is why, same reason I don't recommend KDP expanded distribution is because KDP is the middleman. They're taking a cut. Go directly to IngramSpark. Uploads are now free to IngramSpark. Go directly to them, get your books printed, get them into wholesaler like Ingram. Then you have to market the book. And again, your book has to stand up in the market. The cover has to have genre expectations. You have to have proof of demand. All of those things work in concert. Just having it up on a platform won't work. Let's see. Who do you respect in the world of obtaining foreign rights? Foreign rights is kind of tricky. A lot of foreign rights, there are some agents that will do foreign rights, specifically just foreign rights. But more often than not, there are people who specialize in certain languages for foreign rights. I will say, for foreign rights, we have in the past worked with, what is her name? Anna, I'm looking it up right now. Anna Termini. Anna Termini is a great source of information. She's written a blog for the New Shelves on subsidiary rights and foreign rights. I'm going to drop that in the chat. But for anyone watching the replay, go to newshelves.com, little search bar, type in foreign rights, and her article will pop back, right up. And she gives some great information and resources. And I would start there. And if you ever reach out to her, Anna, she is a lovely human and very helpful. Let's see. How much difference is there between just selling on Amazon versus being KDP? Well, KDP is just their platform. So sometimes it's suspected that people on KDP do get kind of a bump. You know, they kind of go to the front of the list because KDP profits off of them. Whereas if you're selling on Amazon through a third party like IngramSpark, or if you're doing Seller Central, they don't profit quite as much. So you do have more tools when going through KDP, and you may get some internal favoritism, although they don't admit to that. I suspect it though, as do many others. But can you sell, whether you're doing Seller Central or through IngramSpark or a distributor or through KDP? Absolutely, you can. So there might be a difference. You do have more tools going through KDP, but more and more we're seeing those tools show up in Author Central. Yes, and so as we talked about last week, IngramSpark now does have free uploads. As of May 1st, it does not cost you anything to upload a new title, and you get free revisions for 60 days. After the initial 60-day period, it does go back to the $25 fee every time you'd like to add or revise files. And that's not per file. If you're changing the interior and the cover, it's $125 fee. What they are also doing beginning July 1st is there's a new global distribution fee, which is 1% of the retail price. So it's really not much if you have a book that's up for $10. If it's up for $10, you don't get charged unless you sell a book. But once you sell a book, it's a 10-cent fee on a $10 book. So really minimal there. And it would take a lot of sales to kind of make up for their upload fee, which was $50 or $49. So they're doing that. And I was able to talk to some Ingram reps while I was in California for IBPA, and they have some really exciting things coming up the chain. They're doing more and more with their distribution. They are working with authors and panels to kind of find out what authors need. So I believe July is when we'll see that global distribution fee, but I've heard we may be looking forward to some more exciting things in either July or September. Can't say what yet, but when it breaks, I will certainly let you know, and we will look forward to that. All right, my friends, I do have to run. I've got a orchestra concert to go to. Oh no, it's jazz band today. Emma's playing in a jazz band concert at a lilac festival, so I've got to run. Thank you for joining me here today. It was so good to have you. If you're new, welcome. Everyone, we will be back next week, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Eastern, newshelves.com/FAF. If you missed anything, if you want to watch the replay, just go over to YouTube. It's youtube.com/newshelvesbooks, and the replay will go up by Monday. All right, everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Bye.